Good Wednesday morning to you. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and this is your outlook for Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2014. We start off with the look at this morning here. It's not going to be a very good Christmas Eve here, not at all. I mean, not all day and not all night. We're going to have an area low pressure here moving up from the Mississippi Valley, and this is going to head up straight through the central Great Lakes just up here like this. And all of this rain that's sitting here is going to be moving up through our region here and giving us a very, very wet day here today. Now, we're going to have rain that's going to have the ability to be heavy at times. Not going to be a constant heavy rain, but we will have heavy pockets embedded within the rainfall. And we're also going to have the chance for thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. This isn't going to be like you have in the summertime, so don't get excited. What we're talking about here is low top convection. And you're also going to have a little bit of a temperature inversion and aloft. So what does that mean? Basically, low top convection, you're not going to see any clouded ground lightning. You're going to see, you might see a flash here that just brightens the sky a little bit. But then you're going to hear some low rolling thunder. The places that do receive thunderstorms is going to be the ones that shake a house. I mean, it's going to be really loud and very very deep bass to it. That's because of a temperature inversion of aloft, and it actually traps the sound underneath of it, and it actually tends to, it sounds like it's echoing a little bit, and that's the kind of thunder you would get today if we do have thunderstorms this afternoon. Pretty much favors the eastern half of our coverage area, probably in the areas I'm circling here for these thunderstorms. I think you're up by Harrisburg in that area. Not saying you can't get a thunderstorm, but the likelihood is less there than, say, Scranton to Allentown to Philadelphia to Dover and points east. So that's basically what we're looking at today. Here is the area low pressure again moving up through the Great Lakes. We're going to go a little bit further in time here and just show you here. Here's the afternoon and the evening hours. And overnight, you can still see the rain here still sticking around. No cold air in sight here, so there's not going to be any wintry. There is not expected to be any wintry side to this whatsoever. And the only thing we're going to be dealing with here is once this shuts off, once we get into Thursday morning. Here's a look at the morning hours right now. Now the morning hours have absolutely nothing here. We're going to have clouds giving way to sun, and it's going to be quickly improving here from west to east here. But notice these isobars here again. We talked about this in yesterday's video. Very tightly packed isobars here, and then as you get down further south a little bit, they start spreading out a little bit. So what I expect as far as winds are sustained 15 to 25, especially in the morning when this cold front passes, or right behind this cold front. Of course, the cold front is sitting here like this at this point here by Thursday late morning. It's already sitting off the coast. And with these isobars here, I'd say up here in the Poconos, you could probably get wind gusts as high as 45 miles per hour. And down here closer to Philadelphia and southern PA, 35 miles per hour. Include South Jersey and Delaware. Once you get up here in the central areas, from say Harrisburg over to Allentown over to about New York City, you're probably in the middle of that somewhere, gusts to 40 miles per hour. So it will be breezy. These are wind gusts now. These are not constant winds. So just keep in mind, keep aware of that, I guess, for your Christmas decorations that are outside that can be blown around, and other objects that can be blown away, such as garbage cans and things like that. Just make sure you secure everything. Going a little bit forward here, we're going to have high pressure to our south here. It's going to move south of here on Thursday night into Friday, and it's going to eventually move off the coast on Friday. So again, we're going to have a return flow around this high pressure. Being clockwise, you're going to have the warmer air come in from the southwest as the winds are going to shift to the southwest, and you're going to have a little bit of a warming as a result of that on Friday. This is the same concept you have in the summertime when you have those heat waves, where you have the high pressure in an ideal situation just off the coast, and the flow around it will send those southerly or southwesterly winds in here and get it really warm. Same concept, just a different time of year. Instead of being obviously July, now we're talking about late December, so a little bit of a difference there in what it can produce. Same thing holds true for Saturday. High pressure is still sitting here offshore, and at the same time, In addition to providing this return flow around the high pressure, you also have a cold front approaching here. So this cold front here associated with this area of low pressure is going to, you always have a southwesterly flow ahead of that as well. So they're going to have an even warmer day, I think, here on Saturday. But still a nice day here across our coverage area here on Saturday. Sunday is going to be the day where the clouds increase. I think you have the cold front come through here. Saturday night is going to be I think the time it comes through. Saturday night or very early Sunday morning, you'll have a cold front come through here. And again, this is not much precipitation with this. This is strung out, but the cold front's kind of sitting here like this. And it's going to be pressing off to the south. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. A couple different scenarios here. I'm going to draw 3 different scenarios for you. First of all, I'm going to show you the GFS, and I'm actually showing you the 18Z GFS here at this time because I'm going to show you what this does. Frontal boundary stalls just to our southeast. Okay, this area of low pressure, which is right down here, forms along this frontal boundary. Frontal boundary again is still sitting here like this. So this is forming along the boundary, and it's going to ride this boundary up like this. All right. By doing that, you have some overriding precipitation and then you can see this is in the form of snow on the northern side of that boundary, rain on the southern side. So it's a lot of this going to depend where the boundary stalls. It's also going to depend on where the low pressure forms along that boundary, and it's also going to be determined by how strong this thing gets. If this low pressure remains weak, so it just comes up here like this and doesn't really intensify, heads off like this, then this right here as shown can happen. It would be a moderate snowfall, not a heavy snowfall, light to moderate, so maybe like some places get in the 3 to 6 inch range if this were to occur. If this ends up stronger, and this becomes a stronger system and develops it more, you're going to have more warm air sucked in this system, and you're going to have a lot of rain. Not a lot, well, I won't say a lot of rain, but this is all going to be rain instead of snow, and then your snow would be actually confined up further north, up in this area, if this low became stronger. If it stays even weaker, we're going to have some cold air coming in at the same time around that time frame here. It's just going to squash this system, and it's going to end up being nothing. It'll be a big nothing here. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And it's going to shear it out. So we still have to see what happens with this system, but this does have the potential, like the GFS is showing here, of producing a little bit of snow here. And this, again, would be a 2 to 4, 3 to 6 inch type snowfall. But you see what the GFS does. It keeps it at 1,008 millibars. Not too weak and not too strong. Just right to get us the snow across at least our northern half of the coverage area, northern and central portions, as shown here in the GFS. And the cold air we're talking about here is coming. The pattern change is coming. We talked about this for a long time now. This is looking beyond the 29th here, and this is looking at showing me the GFS depiction and the European model depiction of I'm drawing a low pressure. It's not low pressure. It's actually a polar vortex. So we got a PV. So used to drawing L's on everything. This is actually a polar vortex that is showing up here on the models, and actually splits. And this is a piece that breaks off and heads down here and just over the Great Lakes here. So what this, everybody knows what the polar vortex does. It brings in much colder air to our region, and we're expecting this after the pattern changes on the 29th. So once you get past this storm here on Monday, we're going to have a much colder period coming up here, and this looks like it'll last for several days. Might relax a little bit and go back to near normal temperature for this time of year, but hey, near normal for this time of year is in the 30s, so it's not going to be warm by any means. We're not going back up in the 50s. We're going to be below normal for several days. Might relax a little bit, go back up to near average, and I think we're going to end up tanking again as we get into January. So this is going to be an entrenched pattern. Every time it looks like it's going to relax, there's something behind it that makes it look like it's going to reload, at least from our projections right now and what we're looking at on the ensemble. So went to a lengthy video today, but a lot to explain, and we'll get to this in a little more detail and narrow it down throughout the week. In the meantime, be safe, everybody, and have a great Christmas Eve. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and it's your outlook for December 24th, 2014. Have a great Wednesday.